It's the 16th of May, and this is your daily Solana debrief, and I swear we've got a decent amount of news today. Drift token is launched, meme coins are doing well, the markets are doing well in general, and I want to talk about Meteora as well, of course, Actionables at the end. So make sure you stay to the end. I promise it's alpha packed. So, starting with Saint Pump, his view, nothing's financial advice. Remember, traders, all that they have to do is they have to be right more than the wrong, and that's how they make their money. Either way, it's looking good, degens, to confirm the end of a crab market. I'm not a trader, but I think it will be a crab market a little longer, but I still like to see a bit of a pump. BTC breakout confirmed, official target of the pattern is 72k. If we reach these levels, I'm expecting price discovery soon afterwards. So what does that actually mean? That means that if we go into Bitcoin, if it hits 72k, which we're not going to be able to see necessarily, but if it goes up to around this level here, then we have price discovery, meaning it could go up significantly higher. That's just with Bitcoin. Now, if we go back to the main page, it's just not performing that well. And I hold Ethereum because I do think AEVO is like the best DeFi product in the world. And I think Camino will give it a run for its money, but just AEVO's got that time-tested resilience. And so I have Ethereum in there and I take USDC loans, etc. So I do have a little bit of Ethereum, not very much. I have a lot more Sol, of course. I'm sure you all know that. But Solana's going up really well. I'm going to go over a couple more tweets here, but it's just outperforming Ethereum so well. So month to date, Sol doing better. And Invest answers, ETH loses 30% to Sol in 2 weeks. So this is when you compare the price of Sol to the price of ETH, which is not normal. Normally people are going to be trading just directly against USD, but some traders like to compare the base asset, something they're really, really bullish on. So I wouldn't say it's common, but I'd say it's more common with, a specialized type of trader that really likes, say, ETH or Sol or BTC. Long story short, it's just outperforming. And that's what I think is going to happen, to be perfectly honest. Mamba makes a point that I agree with. There is a world where many people were extremely early to Sol and end up losing on the easiest bit of their cycle because they keep buying more meme coins instead of stacking Sol itself. As retired Chad Dev says, most of us already lost it all in NFTs. It's very, very true. So there are exceptions. Like I have to agree with Topo here. I mean, $10,000 swap into Bonk. What a legend. But there'll be some meme coins that I think will outperform. And I think there's some that are worth degenning into small amounts and just treating it as gambling. But in general, just stack your Sol. Stack your Sol, stake your Sol. Stake with validator.com, of course. Now, quickly, I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of how much effort goes into these videos. So I'm the voice, I'm the face, and I primarily did all the research and then all the editing. And now I have an editor that as soon as I finish this, she edits it within like 2 hours, uploads it, and has it timestamped and everything. Then I have a researcher that goes through all these tweets, has them all laid out for me so I can open them. And my team's actually growing and growing and growing. I'm not hiring anyone else at the moment or anything like that. But what I just wanted to say is I really do appreciate those that stake with validator.com because that's basically how I'm keeping up the content at present. So please, honestly, you don't have to give me a donation or anything like that, but stake with validator.com. It makes all this possible. Anyway, Trader Cos mentioned this a little while ago, yesterday, and then it just pinged. He says that we may get a little bit of trouble in the 170s and we could stall there. So we'll see how we go. Now on to Drift. The Drift Foundation airdrop is launching. Well, it's already launched. It is launched today and drifters will be able to deposit Drift and use it as collateral on day one. I'm not actually sure how much we can use as collateral. Let's have a quick look. So basically, let's just connect here with this tutorial and let's have a look. Where would we see that? Maybe earn, lend. Do we see our Drift token here? Okay, so the actual initial weight of this asset is 25%, which is pretty decent. That means if we had $4,000 worth of Drift, we can then do trading with, say, $1,000, or we could take out a loan of $1,000. And for a token like that, that's very, very good. Obviously, it's their token, so they would do it like that. For comparison, JTO, which is a more established token, is 12%. Render, more established, W, etc. Tensor, strangely, is at 25% as well. That's quite unusual. You can also see down here, if you do want to, you can go and add some Drift tokens right here, and it's giving you an APR, meaning potentially that people are borrowing Drift, selling it in order to basically short the market. Now, Camino, which is my favorite DeFi dApp on Solana, they have a vault where you provide Drift and Jito Sol, and you are earning decent rewards. Now, I imagine it's going to be via Orca. So if it is via Orca, we're not getting any Met points, and I really wish we just got more and more Met points. Met points come from Meteora, of course. I'm sure you already know, but I'll just keep on mentioning it. So let's have a look and see where we can find the Drift token. We'll just go for a search here. Drift in JitoSol. TVL is minor, really minor, and the rewards are decent. So because this is so, I imagine that this is just slightly out of date. I mean, $197. You know what we'll do? We'll see what we have in this wallet, and we'll just go and quickly throw some in. Okay, I need to move some money into this wallet or use a different wallet. Okay, so I've changed wallets. I've got some money here. I'm just going to put in all this JitoSol as a normal kind of entry. Okay, it didn't go through, so let's just try that again. Maybe we've got an issue with something. We'll go with a little bit less. 2.4 deposit. Okay, here we go. And it's going to do a little bit of a swap, and we get a little bit of drift token, as you saw, just because it's not perfectly balanced, and that's unusual, but it's also fine. So we're going to throw this in, and just out of curiosity, I'll cover it tomorrow what we actually made in fees. So we're putting in 2.4 JitoSol, and we'll work out what we got tomorrow. Just because right now TVL is low, we may end up getting a little bit of reward. So jump into this pool if you like this pool. Also with Meteora, this is good as well. There is decent rewards happening as well. So just open these. Now, which one would I go into? If you're bullish on both, you'd probably go with something like this. That way you've got more drift or you've got more SOL. If you go for USDC, then you just have USDC. I don't really love putting it in with USDC. Sometimes it makes sense, but generally I would probably go with SOL if I'm bullish on both tokens. If I'm just trying to farm something, get a return, I would normally go within USDC. Now, I did a little video on the Drift protocol and the token launch. It's linked here. You can go and watch it. It was basically how to claim more drift. And by the way, on Whales Market right now, drift is trading at about 42 cents. But if we come here to CoinGecko, make sure we're updated, we can see, I'm not sure what their very first transaction was, but it looks like it was like quite low. Okay, it spiked up crazily, not for very long, and then it's kind of come down, and now we're at 49 cents. So it's doing well. Remember, if we go to drift.foundation, we can actually go and claim our allocation of drift tokens today, and the claim is live until August. But if you claim within the first 6 hours, then you won't get all of your drift tokens. So it goes up in a linear fashion. So I'm going to wait right until the end of 6 hours, and then I will claim them. Or I might claim them tomorrow, and that's fine with me. Bybit has also got drift. Stand a chance to grab a share of 700,000 drift as a prize pool. And I'm hoping it's just not something simple like you need to sign up to the actual exchange. I hope it's for any user. New users only. Trade and earn. If you're going to trade, if you trade at least 1,000 USDC worth of drift on spot, you'll earn up to 2,000 drift. It could be worthwhile. This is not for new users, pretty sure. So you'd have to go and do a bit of trading, just buy, sell on spot, and then maybe you're going to get more drift. Probably nothing that I'm actually keen on right now, but if you're already on Bybit, give it a go. Coinbase has also got drift on its exchange as well. And drift will be listed on Margin Lend today. It's already listed, I imagine. By the way, of course, there's competition in this space. Zeta Markets, that's a competition. So put your attention on this, because drift, if you don't have any drift allocated, or if you had drift allocated and then they took it away like they did with many people's wallets, then you want to probably go and look at Zeta Markets. So place a trade and you get a random Z score multiplier. Also, I found out if you use Backpack Wallet, you get 1.1x as a multiplier as well. So I would say only use Backpack if you're very familiar with crypto, because it's not as user-friendly as Phantom or Solflare. Now also, there looks as though there's a reward with Bird Eye, so we might cover this in more detail tomorrow, but there's a decent amount of actual rewards. Where are they? 10 million Z score to all participants, 100 Z cards to 100 lucky users, and 1,750 reward to 3 traders. Where is our link to actually click on this? Maybe it's here. So we come here, we go and do this quest, we go via Cloudflare, and I didn't even know that this actually existed. So this might be a good thing to actually bookmark. Join now, expires in 13 days. You need a Bird Eye account, wallet added to profile, and then go from there. Also CoinGecko, and I met Bobby, the CEO and founder of CoinGecko at Solana Crossroads, a legendary guy, absolutely legendary. There'll be 4,000 lucky winners will be selected to also get some Z as well. So let's have a look and see how we do this. login. So you could have a simple login. Looks like it's going to cost 200 candies. So if you don't know about candies, basically you create an account and then you just have to log in every day. You get like 10, then 20, then 30. The more times you log in, the more you do. And then it's a raffle. So you can just go and buy a ticket and maybe end up getting some Z tokens. We've got some news from Dupe, of course. Dupe.ag/bridge compare. Go check out this. This is the Solana gateway to heaven. And if you have any feedback on this, you can see right here, there's an actual earn. There's 1,000 Dupe up for grabs. That's like $1,000 now. I'm not going to say what it could be, but I think it could be higher than that in terms of value soon or in the near future. 29 submissions. There's still a huge amount of talent there. I can't enter these anymore because anything related to Dupe, as I'm part of the Uplink working group, it's kind of not fair. But going into this, all you have to do is just give a whole lot of feedback. I swear Dupe does so well at just getting more feedback and then just iterating. The Dupe planetary call happened yesterday, 16.8 thousand views, which is really good. And then if we go and have a look at Uprock, I was the host of the Uprock call yesterday. They did exceptionally well as well. And we can see they've been actually doing really well, 32,000 views. So you can click on this link and watch this as well if you can. Otherwise, there will be clips from both the Dupe call and the Uprock call. They'll be put on the YouTube channels. I love Dupe and I love Uprock. If you want to watch more content, go and subscribe to their channels. News with Sanctum. This is all about basically a vampire attack, essentially. So a vampire attack is when one liquidity provider or one dApp tries to claw all of the liquidity from, say, Uniswap to SushiSwap. That was kind of the original vampire attack in crypto. And then because they give more rewards, and then you go to another one, and then you go to another one. So right now, what's happening with Sanctum? This is fine by me, completely fine by me. I think it's completely fine. But if you want more XP, let's say you have INF, you got a big bonus, then you can swap the INF into these ones like Lantern Soul, Juicy, Power Soul, Stake Soul, and then you're going to get more EXP. Personally, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth the effort. And it's going live tomorrow, and then it runs for 24 hours. So there's going to be like a little bit of a swap fee. Is it really going to be worth it? To me, no. But if you're not using Sanctum, I've got a referral below. I do like Sanctum. But mostly validator.com, that's where I stake the majority of my Sol. And then when I want to use it in DeFi, I take the stake account, which I'll show you in another video. I convert it to Jito Sol or MSol, and then I put it into Camino, and then I borrow USDC off it. Now there's no known tokenomics details regarding Sanctum. So there's a deep dive discussion and AMA on Twitter Spaces. I will not be attending. It's at midnight Sunday for me. But if this is a good time for you, go for it. Otherwise, I imagine they'll have, hopefully, a good brief bit of information that just gives us the TLDR so we can have a look at the tokenomics. If you're a bit degen and if you know how to trade, you can go to Flash Trade. You can now trade WJTO, Dupe, and Pith with up to 50x leverage. I'm just quite curious actually. If we go to CoinGecko, you know how there's a lot of sell pressure potentially on Pith? Maybe it'd be a bit degen, but maybe shorting it leading up to the 20th of May could be decent. It's already fallen a little bit. We've got a few more days. I wouldn't be shorting it like 50x leverage or anything like that. But if you wanted to, if you know how to trade, you could do it at a higher leverage point. Marginfi has been shipping some stuff. I don't think they've really taken care of their public relations mess that they were in. They've kind of glossed over it, from my opinion. Mac was actually at Solana Crossroads. I didn't run into him in person. Otherwise, I would have happily chatted to him and debated, given him feedback or whatever. I'm not quite happy to be semi-confrontational if it means that we're lifting the game of Solana. However, if this gets more attention, completely fine. I'm putting it on your radar. They're actually building like a liquidity layer, like an actual layer 2. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work because it doesn't really give us too much information. All I do know is that there's going to be some grants coming for developers to build on it. And apparently you can just go to margin.substack.com and check out the blog posts. Once again, a little bit of feedback for projects. If you have to read through something like this long and you still don't really understand exactly what's going on, I just don't think that's a brilliant marketing technique. It should be very clear what it is. What exactly is this? Because it's supposed to be some sort of L2, but I'm just a little bit confused and then I have to go somewhere else. Either way, I'm putting it on your radar. I'm not trying to be mean in any way, but there could be some more attention coming to Marginfi, and this could be a potential to put some funds back in there, use it in some way and hopefully get a decent Marginfi token airdrop in the future. There's one teaser here, margin swap. Imagine a new smarter stable swap that doesn't give you swap fees, but also yield. We're building this and you're already using its liquidity foundation, Margin Lend. More airdrop news. So deBridge Finance, Jussie's done the research here to get into the top 2,000, which is always a good goal, 35,000 points. And that's all you need. So maybe you want to aim for like 50. And then if you have a look at how it's been done, Fabiano thinks that deBridge is basically, it's been done more as a pre-sale. So you're paying fees to bridge as opposed to an airdrop. And you can see the transaction volume between deBridge and Wormhole is the same at 20 mil. However, way more smaller transactions happening on deBridge. Most of that would be kind of farming. However, it could mean that more new users are jumping in as well. And Jussie's also pointed out that if you have 35,000 points, when you work it all out, basically spending $315 on points and on fees, right? But then if you go to Whales Market and you go and sell them, not that there's a lot of volume, to be honest. I mean, 24-hour volume is $10, but if you did, it's worth 1.9K. So that's, and he also says points was launched today, so it's not much volume. So we just saw deBridge just there. Is it there? deBridge. Okay, so there's still not any liquidity, but give it a day and maybe it works out. But maybe the takeaway is properly use the actual dApp. Go and bridge, go and do some actual bridges, just bridge back and forth because that's ultimately what they're after at the moment. Fabiano also has his eyes on Symmetry and potentially a 2-in-1 airdrop opportunity. Now, I'm not bullish on Symmetry. I would like to be bullish on Symmetry. I've given feedback to Symmetry and Prism via someone that worked for them in the past. Just the UI is not amazing. However, like I want everything on Solana that's audited and does well to do really well. Basically, what you can do is you can go and have like an index fund. So you can have different assets and things. So let's have a look at, say, this one. This is a Solana DeFi index. You'd go and buy this basket and you're getting a little bit of each of these tokens. I'm not sure if it rebalances or anything like that. I'm happy to do a bit of a deep dive, but it is a good idea. So I guess what I should say is Symmetry and Prism. Prism's an aggregator like Jupe. Not crazy about Prism, but Symmetry is a different product. And I think it looks actually clean enough now. I think they've cleaned it up. It took a little while. I gave feedback a little while ago, but this looks pretty good. So I'll go and look into it. If you want to try and front run me, go for it. Go get involved. There could be an airdrop. Next, we've got Solayer. Hold before Epoch Zero. Let's talk. Introducing Solayer Stage 1 release roadmap. This is all about restaking. Not sure exactly what it's all about, to be perfectly honest. Two things though. There's so much attention on staking because staking is so good. This is why we have Validator.com. This is why we have Validated. This is why there's MSOL, BSOL. There's the new LST from Marginfi. There's Sanctum LSTs. There's Jirosol, if I didn't already mention that. There's the Vault, which is something I'll cover in another video. What I'm trying to say here is not financial advice, but seriously, a little bit of dollar cost averaging into your SOL and then staking it is probably what's going to net you a decent amount of rewards this cycle, because I still think Solana is going to go over $600 per token. It's currently what, 160 or something. And because there's so much attention on staking, you can see that there's economic value there. Also, Solf says it has been mentioned on Discord that arriving early can earn an exclusive role like OG, and they even hinted at a potential token. Yes, there'll be an OG role and some other special roles, and then win tokens sometime in the future. So that's of course speculation, but if you're into this sort of thing, you're more than welcome to go and jump in. I mean, this whole thread will be linked below, but it came out less than 24 hours ago. It's backed by Solana co-founder. Anatoly has invested, we don't know how much, but almost $10 million of VC investing, and Anatoly's put some money in there. That could mean he could put, a $10,000 angel check. We don't actually know, but either way, he would have in some way seen it. We got some more news here from Matty. So I agree with this take completely. Solana's revenue is down versus Ethereum. If a blockchain makes this insane amount of volume, the same amount of actual revenue, congrats to Pump.fund, they've done well, then how is that really, really valuable when you're not bringing on millions of new users? So Tron, I've used Tron like less than 4 times in my life just to send USDT because they accepted it. I had to do it. It was difficult. It's a terrible blockchain. I don't know where these fees come from or why. Solana, I understand the value proposition and I understand why Ethereum fees are high, because there are whales that have, this economic value to be exploited or economic value to be taken. But I would love to see, and I don't hate on Ethereum. People sometimes put that in the comments, but I would love to see like less than 1 or less than 5 cents per transaction on the Ethereum mainnet. Then it'd be absolutely amazing. And if that ever happened and they had $2 million of revenue, great, fine. It would be epic. We have some news from AEVO here. So AEVO is, let's just pull up the token. It's basically similar to, it's a perps DEX, and it's similar to Whales Market. It like pre-lists a lot of tokens, and it's down 78%. And this is a new token. This is this cycle. That's insane. Oh goodness, that's really, really insane. So let's have a quick look at this. And this is one of the reasons why I'm starting to consider meme coins more, because there's some very greedy VCs out there that are just, and greedy teams. Basically, this token's fairly new. You can see it's launched only a couple of months ago, and they've cashed out millions today by unlocking 82% of the supply. I haven't done due diligence on this, but I'm fine with what I've basically worked out. We can have a look at this in a second as well. So this is the unlocking event today. 82% of the total supply, insane, gets allocated, 215 to the team, and then private investors. And these are the investors that got like a star rating. You can see the seed round, nice 48x, Series A and Series A+. By the way, if you look at this and you think, well, they're only at a 6x or a 3x. They're not actually. If we have a look at this token and we come on down, we would probably see a market with perps, meaning when it was a higher price, they could have just shorted it. They would have shorted it at like $3 because it was a hedge. And then as soon as they get their tokens, they can just sell the tokens because they already have the tokens. I don't know if that makes sense. It will if you've watched my drift video on hedging. Long story short, these VCs have done really, really well. And as we can see, this is a token here, 96% unlocked, which is crazy. This is kind of okay in some ways because it's more akin to a meme coin. Only the distribution is crazy because the majority is just right here. And then a very small amount of the community actually has it. So what is the incentive to actually hold this token? And what's the incentive to actually use this DApp? Now quickly, let's jump into Meteora. Firstly, I'm going to team up with a couple of people that are good with Meteora so we can cover some cool stuff. So Brother will help me out, and maybe Sash will as well. There'll be a couple of others. If you're good with Meteora and you want to share your alpha, get some exposure, let me know. But this is a tool that you can use. You can grab an address if you're actually on Meteora to see how your wallet is doing in terms of actual positions. And let's just find where we can put in the address. I'm not sure who created this, but whoever did, thank you. Looks good. Let's let it get its information. Okay, so this is an address which has done a lot of work, so it's compiling. In the meantime, let's go to Meteora because I actually went and took some GME in a particular wallet. Let's switch on back to that wallet. And I went out of range, which is fine. And I didn't correct it last night because I was too busy. And I put in 1 sol. So we remember I put in 1 sol. 1 sol's value yesterday, I think, was like 144. And then today it's like 160 something. I actually sold out all of the sol into GME because the price of GME crashed. And then I had some swap fees with a little bit of sol. And then I redeployed it this morning. So what I want to point out is the liquidity that I actually earned was $30. I put in some liquidity here. And then approximately, if we go to Bird Eye, it dropped 44%. So if I just bought just GME by itself, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't work. But if I just bought GME by itself, $100 worth, I would have lost $44 in USD value. Instead, because I was actually providing liquidity, my 145 turned into basically 140. And if I had have redeployed this last night, as soon as it went out of range, if I had set that up properly, and I will set it up properly and I will do a tutorial in the coming week. But if I had done that properly, then I would have probably been up. So this is only if you know what you're doing. I'm just letting you know that sometimes if you want to get into a meme coin, maybe you want to try and extract some liquidity fees as well as holding a small moon bag. Also with Drift and USDC, I've got a small amount in here, just plugging along. It's like $32 just to show you how it basically can happen. I actually ran out of time to put it on a position, so I didn't manage to capture anything at like 10 or 20 cents before it popped up to the current price. Now back to this. So Brother has been putting in a decent number of positions. He's been getting a lot of MET points. This is an approximation, but it's likely going to be correct. And you can see all of the different pools he's in. So right now, some are printing money. We're talking in terms of USDC value. We're not talking in terms of impermanent loss. And I guess this is still a good tool, but I don't know, are we up? Total fees, total profit and loss. So your combined P&L for all positions, including fees. So it looks as though this is not actually doing well for him right now. Maybe there's a little bit too much degeneracy, but I'll catch up with him and I'll link this tool below. And if you want to get started in Meteora, go for it. And we'll start to do something to basically show you how to properly use it and hopefully extract some value from this tool. So the actionables, very quickly, Drift, go and claim it. Make sure you claim it after 6 hours if that suits you. Watch my video on the Drift launch for the actual actionable there. Watch my tutorial on Meteora's DLMM pool. If you're going to get started in that, now is the time. The time was actually a month ago, but you're still early. Also watch my video on the community airdrop for Zeta Markets and go and farm that organically. And DCA Sol and dupe and stake it with validator.com. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Cheers.